Tonight on News 5 Live, Belize keeps a close watch on Tropical Storm Lisa. NEMO and the Met Service provide the latest update on what the country can expect by midweek. Teachers walk out of class at Holy Cross Anglican in San Pedro. And the PSU goes ballistic following new information on CEO allowances. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen Broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen Broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
We are back outside. St. John's Credit Union Limited is inviting you to celebrate our 76th anniversary at our outdoor annual fair to be held on Friday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at all our office locations. Come get your free health checkup, sign up for membership, or purchase early Christmas gifts from our many vendors. See you there. St. John's Credit Union Limited. Safe savings, smart borrowing.
St. John's Credit Union Limited. Safe saving, smart borrowing.
Welcome to Builders Hardware. End of the year mega sale where you can certainly get what you are looking for.
That's right. We're cutting costs and slashing prices across the store.
This sale starts from October 15th until the end of the year.
Enough time for you to plan, shop safely, and save some money.
We're having a huge discount. 20% on paint and 30% and more on selected items. Just for you.
Come and visit us in Belmopan. We have quality, variety, quantity, and service with a smile.
Builders Hardware. End of the year mega sale from October 15th to the end of December. We think our customers are awesome.
Builders who build with a passion and skill. Go to Builders Hardware.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, October 31st. I am Sabrina Daly. As early as 1 o'clock this afternoon, exactly 2 hours after a live joint press conference from the National Emergency Management Organization and the National Meteorological Service, a hurricane watch was declared by the government of Belize on the entire coast of the country. Tropical Storm Lisa continues on a westerly path, moving at approximately 14 miles per hour, with all projections for landfall somewhere between the Belize and Sand Creek districts sometime between Wednesday and Thursday morning. The weather modules are also indicating that Tropical Storm Lisa will likely strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane by landfall. We begin tonight's coverage with a forecast from Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon.
The system is moving to the west at 14 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. and a minimum central pressure of 1,003 millibars. The system is currently disorganized. It is being affected by wind shear, vertical wind shear, causing most of the thunderstorm activity to be to the east of the center. Actually, the center is rather exposed, indicating that the system is weak. And also, there's a good amount of dry mid-level air in the environment, especially to the west of the system. And that's precisely the reason why we are having fair weather. However, indications are that the environment will become a bit more moist and that the wind shear will slacken or weaken and allow the system to intensify gradually. There's a possibility that the system could be a Category 1 hurricane at landfall at the coast of Belize. In terms of motion, it is moving to the west currently, but it is forecast to take a little more west to west-northwestward track, which will bring it far south of Jamaica today, and south of Cayman and north of Honduras through Tuesday, and approach Belize on Wednesday. I mentioned before, as possible as a Category 1 hurricane.
Rainfall is expected to begin on Wednesday evening and continues into Thursday. With certain areas already saturated from the recent flooding, coastal flooding is inevitable. While the exact location where the eye of the storm will make landfall is uncertain, the entire country will be affected. Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon shares the possible impacts of the impending storm.
The system will use, first of all, in the amounts of 2 to 4 inches per day, starting on Wednesday through to Wednesday night and Thursday. In terms of flooding, that could result in flooding, especially over low-lying and flood-prone areas, and even so, more considering the fact that we do have soils that are saturated from the recent events with Hurricane Julia. In addition to the rainfall and the flooding due to rainfall, there's likely to be coastal flooding due to storm surge, with about 3 to 5 feet possible, especially to the north, to the north of the center, actually, where the system makes landfall. And that could result in, like I said, an increase in the level of flooding for coastal residents. And in terms of a Category 1 hurricane, those are systems with winds of 74 to 95 miles per hour. So we're expecting those winds to affect areas just around the center where the system makes landfall. And important for residents to note is that as the system gets nearer to Belize, you will see the cone narrowing. That indicates that we are more clear of where to make landfall. However, because the cone narrow, there will be locations within the country that will not be covered by the cone. And the misconception that some people will get from that is that those areas will not be affected. It is important to note, and we started with the situation in Florida, that there will be impacts outside of that cone. And hence the reason, again, why we want the residents across this entire country to be on the alert for the system as it approaches us and makes landfall on Belize, like I said, late Wednesday or into Thursday morning.
NEMO's National Disaster Coordinator Shelton DeFore says that they had been monitoring the system from last Wednesday, and since the weekend, the island town of San Pedro and Key Caulker Village have been on alert, with emergency management committees activated to prepare for the eventuality. The islands are among the most vulnerable. DeFore speaks on the state of readiness for evacuations and rescue operations, as well as shelters to ensure that there is no loss of life during this disaster.
The next area of operational readiness was that of our logistics, where we checked the stocks in our warehouses to ensure that we had, the basic supplies to start off the operation and to look at what needed to be procured, which we're in the process of, gathering some additional supplies. Our search and rescue component was alerted. BSERT, Coast Guard, BDF, all those critical uniformed services that will assist us in terms of getting ready for any potential rescue. The Human Resource Management Committee also requested some assistance to prepare. They are responsible for the public officers that will go into the shelters. The district coordinators provided a list of shelters that they are likely to open in the event that we have to open shelters for this tropical cyclone that is facing Belize. The window of opportunity to make certain decision closes or narrows every hour. And so the islands of San Pedro and Kikaka, in their deliberation in terms of scenario planning, they have to look at what time they would tell residents you need to evacuate and get off the island. Now, to ensure we start that process, we are imploring and informing the public that if you know you're not in a safe place in San Pedro, Kikaka, Belize City, and you need to relocate, and you know where you're going, put those plans in place one time.
In Belize City, a disaster preparedness plan has also been put in place by the City Emergency Management Organization to ensure the safety of residents during the passage of Tropical Storm Lisa. Taking its cue from NEMO, a meeting was held earlier today with members of the Belize City Council, where a decision has been made to activate the Emergency Operations Center on Wednesday. Melanie Dawson, the liaison officer for CEMO, spoke with reporters this afternoon and shared with us the strategy going forward.
This morning, we've had our State of Readiness meeting with the Belize City Council members, the city administrator, and everyone else on our team. We've basically came to conclusion after listening to the press conference this morning with NEMO and Met Office, and from the information they gave of Tropical Storm Lisa, which will land in Belize on Wednesday, late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We've made our preparations by that, and with that we will be fully activating our EOC on Wednesday morning, and then that will lead us with the advice from NEMA of when we should open shelters. But more than likely, shelters will be open Wednesday in the morning as well.
Have you guys conducted perhaps a preliminary assessment of some of the areas that you would have to concentrate on in terms of evacuation and citizen safety ahead of this system?
Yes, we do have main areas of our focus that we normally put aside. So these areas would be like the Gungaling area, the flood-prone areas, Jane Usher, Belama, which is one of the main areas right now. So with that done from our assessment and from previous situations, we are planning to open shelters in those constituencies closer to those flood-prone areas.
Various routes have been identified for residents of the city, as well as persons seeking refuge from the islands to find shelter elsewhere. While there are essentially two entrances to Belize City via the George Price and Philip Golson highways, Dawson says that in the old capital there are multiple means of accessing both highways.
When it comes to the evacuation routes in the city, we try to use the most effective way out of the city so we do not cause traffic jam, because at that time, you know, this is when residents will be out buying their groceries and doing different stuff, and certain areas we do know that the traffic sometimes get backed up. So for example, for the Fort George division, we have the route going from you go on Queen Street, you go Daly Street, Marine Parade, you go Princess Margaret Drive, Coney Drive, Buttonwood Bay Boulevard, and then onto Philip Golson Highway, onto Chetumal Street, and then down George Price Highway. We also have, for example, Albert Street, the Albert Division. You would go Albert Street, Queen Charlotte, then you would go Cesar Ridge Road, you would go Fabers Road into George Price Highway. So there are different evacuation routes that you can take in the city that will lead you to a clear way and free way out of the city on the highway.
What is in place for persons coming from the islands who are transiting through Belize City to move onwards?
Okay, that is one of our plans that we had started from the beginning of the year. We communicate with Ms. Param, who is the NEMA coordinator. She would let us know, okay, Ms. Dawson, we will start our evacuation. And then from there, the evacuees from the Keys will come in at the tourism village. And then from that point, we will evacuate them to the UB Gymnasium in Belmopan. So they have their designated shelters for the evacuees from the Keys in Belmopan.
Coming up, Belize Bureau of Standards warns the price gouging.
I am.
We are.
All of us.
Together. 12 decades working to achieve health for all. Individually, collectively, universally.
This is our mission.
We stand together with all people.
In every community, every country, throughout the hemisphere.
Because we are healthier.
Together.
We are the Pan American Health Organization, celebrating 120 years of solidarity in advancing health and well-being, leaving no one behind.
Welcome to Design Depot. All in one place. Shop brands you know and trust, like Kohler. Welcome, GE Appliances.
Welcome.
Oran Windows.
Welcome.
Tiles from around the world.
Welcome.
Sherwin-Williams Paint and Coating. Visit us today at Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway or call us at 223-3768. Design Depot. All in one place.
We live in a world where undernutrition and obesity can exist side by side in the same country, home, or even person. Foods high in sugars, salt, and/or unhealthy fats are leading to unhealthy diets and are one reason why children may not be growing healthily, while causing other people to develop overweight or obesity. The consumption of unhealthy diets is heavily influenced by marketing. Easy access is fueling this new nutrition reality, but thankfully, change towards a healthier future is possible. By having a sustainable, healthy diet made up of a variety of foods that are safe for consumption, we can promote health and have better abilities to fight illness. How do we do this? Good nutrition for women during pregnancy and for children in their first 1,000 days of life, including breastfeeding, sets them up for healthy adulthood and future generations. We should eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, pulses, nuts and seeds, and less sugary drinks and foods high in sugars, salt and unhealthy fats. The less of these foods we buy, the more the food industry will be encouraged to produce foods that contribute to healthy diets. We can also call on our leaders to make the right decisions so that every person, everywhere, can afford and access good nutrition. When people like you and me industries and governments work together to make positive changes, we can create a healthier world.
All indications are that Tropical Storm Lisa will intensify to become a Category 1 hurricane by landfall. Modules just before news time are suggesting a possible landfall north of Gales Point, Manatee on Wednesday afternoon. But that does not spare Belize City or the entire area north of the storm. Preparations must be made for strong winds, heavy rains, and a storm surge. Viewers would recall that back in August 2016, Hurricane Earl, a Category 1 storm, caused 8 to 10 feet of tidal surge in Ladyville. NEMO National Coordinator Lieutenant Colonel Shelton DeFore speaks of the expected damages.
Impacts, you'll have things like trees that will definitely, the branches will break, trees will be uprooted, power systems will be damaged, where you won't have electricity for some time, so that will affect water, because water runs with electricity. Sewage system will have issues, falling debris could hurt people and things like that. So storm surge, I won't speak to much of the characteristics, but storm surge, wind are some of the critical, and rainfall. I would then like to ask the chief to lead on from there. But those are some of the things we have to be concerned. Roof failure, one of the key ones. If you live in a home that is not well constructed with hurricane straps and clips, then you need to evacuate to safety.
In regards to storm surge, it's a very peculiar thing. Storm surge isn't correlated quite well with the maximum winds. The storm surge is more related to how large the system is. So you can have weak systems, but if they have a large radius of maximum wind, as I've been saying before, then you can have a bigger storm surge. So putting that in context, given that we're expecting the system to be very compact, we do not expect the storm surge to be very, very huge. However, I did mention 3 to 5 feet. That is what we are seeing from the models that we're running at the moment. And so we want folks to be prepared for that type of storm surge from the system.
Oftentimes, during natural disasters like these, we have recorded cases of price gouging. This common unscrupulous business practice occurs during or after a natural disaster or national emergency. Earlier today, the Belize Bureau of Standards issued an advisory reminding consumers of the importance of saving receipts as proof of purchase, which can serve as a basis to formally report businesses engaged in price gouging. The release says, quote, the Bureau remains committed to the protection of consumers within the scope of its legal mandate and assures that it will liaise with other relevant authorities that hold jurisdiction over the respective matter, unquote. During today's press conference, Minister of Disaster Risk Management Orlando Habet commented on price gouging.
I think that it's something that has happened before, and on other occasions I think we have heard the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Hosamai, speaking about that, and we certainly implore these businesses to really not do that, because it affects largely the poor people who really can't afford it. And so there are certain items that we know are controlled, so you can't increase the prices on those. But there are other items that will be absolutely necessary for these people to take to their shelters or to move from one place to the other. Or even if you want to stay at home and you start to stock up on water and some food, then sometimes this issue with price gouging occurs. And certainly, I can say for sure that Cabinet, the government of Belize, discourages this type of activity.
A list of current price-controlled goods can be found at Belize Bureau of Standards website at bbs.gov.bz. It was a normal school day across the country today. However, classes for all schools will be suspended starting Tuesday, November 1st, until further notice. That was an announcement made by the Ministry of Education on Sunday night via a public notice on its social media page. The notice also urged schools, especially those that serve as hurricane shelters, to ensure that hurricane plans are put into effect and that all property and equipment are safely secured. The notice ends with the ministry encouraging the education community to take heed of all advisories from NEMO and to, quote, make every effort to secure their property and personal well-being, unquote. We also spoke with Commissioner of Police Chester Williams about the department's preparations ahead of Tropical Storm Lisa making landfall. Here is what he told us earlier today at an event in Belize City.
This morning I met with all my commanders from across the country in Belmopan, and one of the issues we discussed was the preparation for this storm that is imminent. I believe by now the first phase is up based on NEMO advisory, and as you would know, police officers around this time, our primary function is 1, to do search and rescue, and 2, to ensure that the hurricane shelters are manned. We will wait to see when hurricane shelters are open and people begin to move to these shelters, and then we will then have police officers assigned to each shelter to preserve law and order at these shelters. In terms of search and rescue, that will be done in conjunction with BDF and Coast Guard. As you would know, we don't have equipments to do search and rescue, so we depend heavily on them to be able to ferry us to different areas where we need to do so. Police officers were also advised to make sure that they get their own preparations in place, looking after their families, because once the storm is near, and we might go into a 12-hour shift system, and officers may not be able to go home until the storm is over. So ensuring that their family is secure before coming to work at the last opportune time is important for them to also make sure of. So that is where we are at this time.
The threat of Hurricane Lisa on Belize puts the coastal communities of San Pedro and Kikoker in the projected path that the hurricane is supposed to cross. The islands remain vulnerable to flooding and strong winds associated with a Category 1 hurricane. Belize Rural South Area Representative Andre Perez, who is also the Minister of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation, told reporters today that the islanders have had enough experience dealing with these kinds of natural disasters. So they are quite alert and ready to take action.
The people of Morogiski and Kikoker have very much experience in dealing with these storms. We do not get loosey-goosey with all this focus. We know what to do. We're having a meeting and make decisions based on what is coming to us. For now, we're asking everyone to be vigilant. We have the local radio station that I'll be speaking with to our people, so we have direct contact. The important thing is that we all work together. It's not only my ministry, it has to be both councils, the village council and town council. We have members from private sector that comes in our will and work along together, and of course the government of Belize. And we're ready. We're ready. We know how to do this. We have done it before, and we take the steps as evacuation occurring. If that has to happen by tomorrow, we're doing it. I already got information at the airport. By tomorrow, we'll have to make a decision of closing it down.
After the break, 14 of 17 teachers of Holy Family Primary walk out. But first, here's the weather report.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast prepared by the National Meteorological Service. I am meteorologist Shana Young. Mainly fair weather conditions continue to prevail across the country today, with only isolated showers over the Maya Mountains this afternoon and over some northwestern parts of the country. These fair conditions will continue tonight, with only partly cloudy skies expected along the coast and more clear skies over inland areas tonight. Tonight's low temperatures will be 74 degrees Fahrenheit near Belize City and also over southern locations, while 68 degrees Fahrenheit can be expected near Belmopan and also San Ignacio, and slightly warmer conditions can be expected near Corozal. Taking a look at tomorrow's weather conditions. For the next 24 hours, conditions will continue fair across the country until late Tuesday night, with only isolated showers expected along coastal areas and also slightly cloudy conditions over inland areas during the day. Taking a look at tomorrow's high temperatures, highs along the coast will be near 86 degrees Fahrenheit over Belize City and also Dangriga, while 89 degrees Fahrenheit can be expected over Belmopan, and slightly warmer conditions with 91 degrees Fahrenheit near San Ignacio. Taking a look at the forecast for the next 4 days, On Tuesday, conditions will continue fair until late Tuesday night, where a gradual increase in instability and moisture is expected as Lisa approaches the area. And on Wednesday, conditions will become gusty as early as Wednesday morning, with a gradual increase in showers, thunderstorm, and rain during the course of the day as Lisa moves closer to our area. This will continue into Wednesday night and early Thursday, with a few showers still lingering over the area Thursday morning, but gradually decreasing during the course of the day on Thursday and returning to fair weather conditions on Friday. Taking a look at the tropics, over the southwestern Caribbean Sea, Tropical Storm Lisa, as of 3 p.m. this afternoon, continues to move towards the west at 14 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. Lisa is expected to continue on a westerly path today and tomorrow start to move west to a more west-northwesterly motion as it interacts with an upper level high, and on Wednesday as it approaches the coast of Belize, a more westerly motion and possibly slightly southwesterly is expected as the high that is currently steering it becomes stronger near the coast of Belize. Lisa is expected to make landfall on late Wednesday as either a tropical storm or a Category 1 hurricane just south of Belize City. And this will support very gusty conditions across most areas of the country on Wednesday night into Thursday. As of 3 p.m. this afternoon, a hurricane watch is in effect for the entire coastline of Belize from Chetumal all the way to the north of Puerto Barrios. With the approach of Tropical Storm Lisa that can potentially become a hurricane by the time it approaches Belize's coast on Wednesday, storm surge of around 3 to 5 feet can be expected just north of the area where it makes landfall, with rainfall accumulated during the course of the day, especially on Wednesday, near 3 to 5 inches and even higher over some locations, especially from Belize City northwards. Taking a look at the marine weather conditions, mainly fair conditions will prevail over the next 24 hours, and the winds will be from the north and northeast tomorrow. However, a more shift towards the northwesterly flow, becoming gusty late Wednesday night is expected, and sea conditions will shift from slight to choppy to rough late Tuesday night. Taking a look at the astronomical conditions, a high tide will occur tomorrow at 2:39, followed by a low tide at 10:40 in the morning, and another high at 5:13 tomorrow evening. The sun will rise at 5:51 in the morning and will set at 5:20 tomorrow evening, while the moon will rise at 12:58 tomorrow afternoon. Join us again on Tuesday for another weather report and forecast prepared by the National Meteorological Service. This weather report was brought to you by the National Climate Change Office through the UNDP Climate Promise from Pledge to Impact project.
My lights, yeah. Go to my lights, go to my lights. You gotta go to my lights, yeah. I wanna shine, 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 shine. I hit my lights cause that's my plan, 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 plan. My lights have your favorite brand, 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 brand. Just come with nothing in your hands, 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 hands. My lights, and it goes on and on and on. It goes on and on and on, yeah. I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. My lights, I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. We going to the store, but we gon' do right. We gon' light a life, only with my light. We going to the store, but we gon' do right. We gon' light a life, only with my light.
Say hello to DigiTV. Step into the world of digital entertainment. DigiTV gives you access to 100+ channels on your TV or your mobile device at unbeatable prices. Take your shows with you wherever you go. It's a new level of freedom. Enjoy your favorite entertainment, sports, family, Latin, and local channels. No more fighting for the TV remote. You can access whenever you want from 2 devices at the same time. DigiTV is for everyone. And with the fastest fiber and mobile networks in the country, you are guaranteed to have the best experience ever. There's no installation required. Sign up for the Max package for only $40 monthly and get the first 2 months for just $30. For a limited time, get 50% off a Fire Stick when you sign up. Download the DigiTV app from the Android or Apple stores. Just WhatsApp us at 608-8888 to sign up. It's that easy. Watch, experience, enjoy DigiTV today.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Creamos un concepto que denominamos quirófano santuario no COVID.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Today, the vast majority of teachers at Holy Cross Anglican Primary School in San Pedro walked out of their classrooms on grounds that the school's management has owed them 2 months' salary and hardship allowances. In one case, a teacher who just recently delivered a baby is owed 2 months' salary as well, and their efforts to collect or to find out when they can has not been met with anything more than empty promises. News 5's Marian Ali was at the school today to hear the teachers' concerns. Here's her report.
We want our teachers paid in full now!
The 400 students who attend Holy Cross Anglican Primary School in San Pedro are out indefinitely after 14 of their 17 teachers walked out of classes this morning. The educators told News 5 that they are tired of showing up to work every day and not getting paid for the past 2 months in some cases.
We have 7 teachers on our staff who have not been paid for the past 2 months. And one of them who is not here today is a first-time mother, and she has not been paid for 2 months. We have heard so many different stories, like there was a story that the teachers would be paid this Wednesday, and so we have come to the point where we are not believing stories anymore. So I can't really give you a straight story as to what is happening, why these teachers are not being paid.
Teacher at the school, Carol Canelo, told News 5 that salaries are just a part of the problem they are facing with the school's management.
We are given a measly $200 per month to live on San Pedro. All other government workers or NGOs, they don't get $200. They get rent allowance, they get transportation, they get all sorts of things. We are given $200 per month, and most of the time, every year since I've been here for the past 4 years, we never get that at the end of September or October. I don't understand how on God's green earth they expect these teachers to live, to come and teach, and to survive on this island that is expensive without being paid. That is almost impossible. So the first on our list is no pay. With the disaster coming, what are these teachers going to do now without having a salary that they could fall back on to prepare for this disaster that is coming?
I asked my principal, can we get something written in black and white? I sent an email to my principal from Friday. I still haven't gotten any response from my principal. Neither to tell me, Miss Helen, I do not have anything in black and white, or Miss Helen, that won't be part. I haven't heard anything at all, right? Now, in reference to the teachers who haven't gotten paid, I have been back and forth with the president of the BNTU, Miss Gillett, and I have informed her of what is happening at the moment. We got to realize that 2 of these teachers' contract got lost. This is not the first time this is happening. It has been happening constantly. Important documents have been going missing from the office. Why? I don't know.
Helen Melendez and her colleagues said there's another issue that they face at the school.
If there's an issue with a particular child or parent, administration and our studies piece in Creole never seem to have our back. So we are left out in the open. There have been cases where a parent actually tried to physically assault a teacher, parent verbally abused teachers, and administration never have our side. We are always left to make it seem as if though the teacher is at fault. We want our increment?
No.
We want our allowances?
No.
We want changes when?
No.
Enough is enough? We want changes?
No.
The teachers demand that they be paid by the end of today, and if they're not, then they will stay away from the classroom until they're paid.
If we don't get what we want, meaning salary for our 7 teachers, our allowances and our increments, then we are not going to go back into the classroom.
We tried to speak with the principal of the school, but she told us that she was going into class and that she did not have any comment. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Earlier today, opposition leader Shyam Barrow donated tens of thousands of dollars in medical supplies to the KHMH Workers Union. The items, which include bandages, surgical masks, gauze, preparation kits, and 23 other medical supplies, were donated by Belizeans living in the diaspora. The much-needed items come at a time when there is an unprecedented shortage of essential supplies for surgery and other medical treatment. The handing over included KHMH Workers Union President Andrew Baird. The opposition joins the KHMH Workers Union in its call for government to immediately address the crisis in the public health system. There is a new Belize film commissioner. He is Carlo Habet, a co-founder of Ignite Limited and advertising agency and video production company in Belize. Habet was appointed to the post by Prime Minister John Briceño. His primary responsibility as the film commissioner is to sell Belize as a destination for international filmmakers to realize their projects. And according to Habet, he is already in talks with 2 big budget films, one with arguably the biggest budget to ever come to Belize. We spoke with Habet today and asked him about his vision and how he separates his post as film commissioner from his responsibilities as the co-founder of a production company. Here's what he shared.
From what I gathered, they wanted a change. I think there's not a lot of Belizeans, I guess, with the kind of film experience per se that I guess you might want for this position. And to be honest, like even myself, I was a bit. I mean, I was honored. It's an honor and a privilege to represent your country in this capacity. I took it very seriously. The fact that it was even offered to me, again, it was an honor. So I think for me, I wanted to do my government proud. It's an appointment out of the PM's office. So I'm appointed by the PM, and the way I'm working, I'm still trying to get resources from the PM's office for certain things, like grants that we have kind of coming up next year to stimulate the local industry. But we have a great relationship with Niche, right, which is why we're here. I'm actually a board member of Niche as well. And so the Minister of Education also has grand ideas of how film can fit into Niche's own mandate through ICA, Institute of Creative Arts. So actually the office will now be housed pretty much kind of like right beside ICA. So we'll be working very closely. I've had a lot of stakeholder meetings thus far. Everyone has been very energized, I would say, from the kind of energy that we're bringing to the table, but also I think that stakeholders want to bring to the table too. And I think everyone wants to be involved. I think that's the interesting thing about it. So personally, what I always say is that I make my own films, and actually we do a lot more commercial work, documentaries, a lot of NGO stuff. We are looking to do our own, like more, I would say, grand foray into films. We did a short film before. We have a feature coming up. But I don't believe that conflicts, because my mandate is really to bring films to Belize. That's the primary mandate. And I think once they get here, my job is to make sure that they are routed to qualified fixers in Belize who could help them to produce their films, or might be short form content. It could be all kinds of stuff.
Today, the Belize Police Department added 100 body cameras to its inventory. The Gang Intelligence Investigation and Interdiction Unit, or GI3, has been incorporating body cameras in its daily operations for some time. And GI3's superiors say that it has been an effective tool in curbing incidents of police brutality. With the addition of 100 new body cameras, the department is rolling out this video capturing equipment to more of its units. And a handing over ceremony was held at the Raccoon Street Police Station in Belize City this afternoon. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
The Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations donated 100 body cameras to the Belize Police Department. Minister of Tourism Anthony Moller says the safety and security of the tourism industry is at the heart of the donation.
We've had instances whereby we've reacted to issues in certain destinations. We prefer to be more proactive to minimize the issues that occur in a destination. And so we believe in true partnership with the police department. We have the tourism police that work with us on a daily basis, and we will continue to provide the level of support that we think that they need to ensure that they could carry out their functions as effectively and efficiently as possible.
According to Karim Musa, the Minister of Home Affairs, the body cameras will serve as a measure of accountability to police officers on patrol.
The Commissioner was reminding me of the statistics a little while ago that the unit that currently utilizes body cams in their operations, we have seen a drastic decline of almost 80% in the number of incidents relating to abuse by police officers. And so this is a very effective tool. Not only does it result in greater accountability of our officers, but also it provides much needed footage. Many times we see officers going on a scene, and the last thing that they're thinking about is, let me pull out my cell phone to try to record what is taking place. And in many instances, we see spliced videos making it onto the media.
Commissioner of Police Chester Williams was present to receive the donation from his minister. He placed his officers on notice.
While the body cam will be used as a means of check and balance, it can also be used as a means to confirm or deny allegations that are made against police officers. So I would want to encourage police officers to see the body cam as something that is more helpful to them as opposed to being detrimental. It is detrimental to you if it is that you will be out there committing yourselves or doing things that is out of the ordinary. But if it is that you're going about doing your job the way it is to be done, then certainly there should be no fear in the use of the body cam.
Police officers at checkpoints across the country will be equipped with body cameras. Specialized units, quick response teams, GI3 officers and tourism police units will also be equipped with body cams.
The policy we have is very good. I went through it myself, and our legal team put it together, and it is good. It is for officers to comply. We have a compliance unit in Benopan that ensures that there is compliance with our policies. So if it is that, let's say for example, an officer would lose the body cam due to negligence, then he or she will have to buy it back. If it is that the officer is out there performing duties and the relief commander or supervisor would stop and check on them, check the body cam, it's not working when it should be working, they have to answer.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
When we return, PSU president contends PUP CEO's allowances never reduced. We'll tell you why after the break.
The hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? Get the essentials you need to stay safe this hurricane season, such as plywood, tarp and rope, first aid kit, rubber boots, raincoats and rain ponchos, generator, portable radio and batteries, flashlight and kerosene lanterns. Weather the storm with these products and more from Benny's. Quality and savings.
Are you eligible for Amnesty 2022? This is your opportunity to apply. When you log on to www.immigration.gov.bz, you will find a full list of required documents needed for the amnesty criteria you are eligible for. Be sure to gather all general and supporting documents needed, including all necessary translations. Then make your appointment online with any of our registration centers countrywide. There, you will submit your documents and complete the required interviews. Thereafter, an acceptance receipt will be provided. While you wait for a decision on your application, track its progress online and know when to make payment at your nearest government treasury office. Once completed, you will receive your permanent residence card, showing your legal status within Belize. Find out more about the Amnesty 2022 and how to apply online at www.immigration.gov.bz. Be prepared. The registration period will be from the 2nd of August to the 30th of November 2022. Belize Amnesty 2022. Let's continue to build Belize together.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
If you are ailing due to a chronic disease and are left permanently invalid before retirement age, you may want to check if you qualify to receive invalidity benefit. The invalidity benefit exists for persons who are unable to continue working due to permanent illness. To qualify, you must be under 60 years old, must be sick for 26 consecutive weeks and certified to be medically unable to perform any type of work, must have at least 5 years of paid SSB contributions and at least 5 paid within the 3 months leading up to your illness. If you do not qualify for the invalidity pension, you may be eligible for the invalidity grant. Want to know more about invalidity benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
I will be there. Thank you so much.
Why are you so excited?
Let me tell you a secret. I just got off the phone with Santa.
Hi Santa. For Christmas, I want a pea shooter, a football.
Oh, come on. 1 second.
We just learned that Santa's phone number has just been revealed. The number is 227-7132. Children all over.
I'm sorry, Dad. I shared Santa's phone number.
New details have emerged about additional payments being made to government CEOs last week. We told you about a circular signed by Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie approving an increase of $750 to CEOs' living and entertainment allowances. Well, today, an interview with News 5 President of the Public Service Union, Dean Flowers, noted that the memo spoke to a variation in the employment contracts of CEOs and not a reinstatement. Variation, he explained, means that the circular ordered a change in the condition of the employment contracts that were agreed upon taking office. It is on this basis, Flowers contends, that the allowances for CEOs were never reduced.
Let me share a couple information and dates with the CABSEC and the general public for clarity. Okay, it was on March the 30th of 2020 via an email from the FinSec to the unions, whereby a certain proposition was made, right, to save approximately $20 million or 17 million thereabouts. That would have included the circular that was on your newscast, Circular 5 of 2020, which spoke to the freezing of increments, the withholding of monthly expense allowance for heads of departments and CEOs and other senior public officers, as well as the reduction of gratuity payments and the reduction of vacation leave. Now, that was in March of 2020. It was effected in April 29, 2020. All right? Come October, November of 2020, these then CEOs that were in place, their contracts came to an automatic end because the elections were called. In November of 2020, and I would say perhaps in December, new contracts were negotiated and signed by the current group of CEOs. In that new contract, they negotiated and they signed onto entertainment allowance of $750. There was absolutely no provision, or any other word that you want to use in there, that they were signing on to an entertainment allowance of $1,500 a month, which would be reduced effective immediately and subsequently restored. Absolutely none. They have contracts.
We also asked Flowers about the emergence of several memos dating back to June 2021, all the way up to October 14, 2022. One memo reveals that CEO in the Prime Minister's office, Narda Garcia, is receiving $2,000 monthly as a responsibility allowance. On June 30th, a special allowance of $2,000 monthly was approved for CEO in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Amalia Mai, as compensation for her service as ambassador to SICA. On February 1st, the Financial Secretary approved $1,000 monthly to Colette Montejo as a special allowance for his service as Vice President of Senate. Only 2 weeks ago, $1,500 was approved as a monthly special allowance to Sergeant David Kal, the Prime Minister's personal bodyguard.
I think that it is important that the Belizean people understand that we're not treating the CEOs unfair here, but we're saying to them, you already have the cake, you already have icing on it, you already have edible candles on it, and Lord man, you still want to pour all the whipped cream on it. Be considerate, and no, Mr. Leslie, no, Kabse, it is not the CEOs who worked their butts off over the last 2 years to restore this economy. It was public officers. It was public officers that continue to work extended hours without compensation that is responsible for the restoration of this economy. We can count on one hand, and I don't know if I'll get to 5, those CEOs that has truly transformed and made a difference in the rebounding of this economy. And I want to recognize publicly that of Osman Martinez, Dr. Osman Martinez, as well as CEO Zetina in the Ministry of Public Service. I think those are two that comes to mind immediately that I can say have brought transformational leadership in their ministry. So do not get it twisted. It is public officers that is responsible for the rebounding of this economy and not chief executive officers.
According to the Cabinet Secretary, the allowances approved for the CEOs mentioned are for extra duties that they undertake. PPF Capital Belize Limited was hired as consultants by the government of Belize back in June to create a plan for the gradual implementation of the $5 minimum wage. PPF Capital is just about a week away from submitting the first draft of its findings to the task force, which is being chaired by Cindy Thompson. Following the finalization of a monitoring, evaluation, and enforcement framework by the first week in December, the task force will deliberate and make its recommendations to Cabinet, where the final decision rests. So what has the data been showing up to this point? According to what Juan Ramirez, the senior analyst at PPF Capital, shared with us today, the agriculture sector may be the least prepared for a minimum wage increase.
Well, the data isn't pointing to one method of implementation over the other. What the data is pointing out so far is that some industries are certainly more flexible than others to manage a wage increase. So some industries, particularly agriculture, you have a lot of what you'd call the low-skilled or semi-skilled workforce that earn at the minimum wage or thereabout. And simply because of the structure of the agricultural industry, we're a small country in the agricultural marketplace globally, we don't get to set prices. So we have to take the prices for banana, for citrus, for sugar, etc. And given that some of these agricultural producers deal with contracts, you're tied into a 3-year contract where the price is set. So kind of any increase in labor cost directly affects your margins and could make it, in some cases, even not profitable to do business under the terms of whatever contract they have. So some industries, some sectors are more flexible than others. That's what the data has pointed out so far, and we're going to be able to make our recommendations based on the best interests of employers and employees across these industries, right?
So far, we have been with the consultant throughout the process, and we've been to the town halls, and the views are similar as what Mr. Ramirez mentioned, that they are these individuals who will not be able to afford that $5 minimum wage. There might need to be a increase. A step-by-step process for some of the industries, while others, they are able to, like we went to Plasencia and San Pedro, and $5, they're already at $5.
And employers aren't the only ones being consulted. Employees are also being asked for their input on the framework that is being developed. According to Ramirez, PPF's final submission will also guide the government on when and how minimum wage increases should be implemented for years to come.
Well, through the survey, we've seen a lot of employees listing. We've asked them so far, what industries they're in, their ages, the specific, demographic results I can't speak to right now. I don't have them recorded in my head right now. But we are getting a diverse array of opinions, and that's important. We asked employees there, what do you think the new minimum wage should be? How do you think you should get a phased approach for your industry? Would you be okay with that? And there, I could say that there's a diverse array of opinion on all these questions. How does a study like this and the increase of minimum wage affect other pay scales within these industries? Does it have perhaps a rippling effect? Have you seen where then others within at different levels request also an increase, putting an added pressure on employers? Yeah, that's a great question, and that's a very real concern. Stakeholders have brought it up in our consultations, and it's happened. It has been shown elsewhere, right? That when you have a minimum wage increase, what you'll find is that people that may, for example, if we go to the 5, people that today are maybe at 556, maybe even 650, will also ask for a raise in line with that increase at the lower end. What you refer to as ripple effect. It's a very real potential. We're doing our best to kind of provide the task force and the government with a number, a reasonable estimate of what we think the ripple effect may be, because that also would be additional cost to the employers, right?
As we said, the final decision on the implementation of a $5 minimum wage will rest with Cabinet. Prime Minister John Bersenio has indicated that the increase will be implemented in January of 2023. There is a development policy and strategy and implementation plan for 2022 to 2027 for the Ministry of Blue Economy. The priority areas of the policy and goals of the strategy were presented today and look forward to the next 5 years. It will deal with creating new opportunities in marine biodiversity and livelihoods while protecting the marine resources through strict guidelines. The strategy calls for a multi-sectoral approach from the Coast Guard and the Fisheries Department. But as the Minister of Blue Economy, Andre Paris, explained, the plan should benefit fisher folks of Belize.
We understand the tradition, the culture of the fisher folks, that sometimes they're out there. We have to look at different ways how they can benefit for their boats. We have to educate them that A boat is no longer something that's seen as a luxury. And that comes from the government aspect as well, that someone who has a fishing boat, we might see it as luxury to buy an outboard. But when you look at the agriculture sector, you're looking at someone buying a tractor, then there's benefits for there in terms of importation. It's a workhorse. It's time for us from the blue economy aspect to look at this and say, listen, a fishing vessel is no longer luxury, it's a workhorse. So we are looking in that ways to work with government, and part of this framework is there to have more direct benefits to fisher folks.
One of the very interesting aspects of this strategy, in increasing our conservation areas, means more resources. That requires us to do a lot more. And Belize Coast Guard is prepared to do a lot more in terms of reconfiguring what we're doing and adding more resources to meet those demands. So that was one of the areas where the Belize Coast Guard was very interested to find out what the expansion here would be and what would be the operating costs of meeting those demands. And that's where strategy alignment comes in, to ensure that we revise what we're doing and reconfigure our forces to say this is now the emphasis, this is the geographical area.
It expands by how much?
So they're initially looking at a 13% increase in sea spaces in terms of conservation. So that's a lot of waters in terms of sea space. But it's pushing us more offshore, it's pushing us inside the territorial seas. Yes. So it's more than just the amount of sea space, it is where. So we're looking at operations beyond the reef. So that means that we would need to acquire those capabilities that can perform those duties beyond the reef.
Looking at new areas like deep sea fishing, for example, we have been working with the IDB, the government of Taiwan, to do some resource assessment and see how best we can develop those areas in the deep water areas. Also look at more value-adding commodities, and also develop the mariculture part, seaweed farming and other aquaculture species in Belize.
Just ahead, Inter-Office Basketball League nearing finals.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Garantizamos contener a los pacientes que ahí estamos manejando y disminuir riesgos de infecciones para el resto del hospital.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway, from Roaring Creek to Esperanza, has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times, and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
How are we to measure the success of our lives? For many, an ordinary life should have the following: a job, a house, enough money to buy a new car. But what if we threw out the ordinary? What could escaping ordinary at our jobs do? How about for our marriages? What if I told you we could all be escaping ordinary? Join us as we begin our new series.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great
Messi!
entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Amnesty 2022 registration period will be from the 2nd of August to the 30th of November. Are you ready? While we prepare, let's clear up a few misconceptions about Amnesty 2022. If my application is not approved, will I or my family face deportation? No, Amnesty 2022 is instead an opportunity for you and your family to call Belize home permanently. Is payment required upon submitting my application? No, payment is only required after approval of your application. Will Amnesty 2022 be giving away citizenship? No. If you're eligible for Amnesty, applying means you have an opportunity to gain permanent residency in Belize. To find out if you are eligible and how to apply, we invite you to log on to www.immigration.gov.bz. Belize Amnesty 2022. Let's continue to build Belize together.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marion Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez. The Inter-Office Basketball League is down to its final matches. On Friday night, basketball fans made their way over to the Belize City Civic Center for 2 action-packed games. Tough Enough Boys took on Belize Water Services in Game 2 of their best-of-3 series. Well, folks, if you were there, you knew how that one played out. And if you are not, you certainly missed out. Things quickly went down the drain for BWS as Tough Enough handed them a 76-60-point series closer.
It means a lot because all season we were hard to reach here. We were undefeated. We don't want to give up so easy. We were pushing for this finals and we made it. Now it's just to continue and win the final.
In Game 2, Central Health Region fought hard and lives to see another day. They were down 1 in their best-of-3 series against the Belize Coast Guard. Fortunately for them, they were able to lead in all 4 quarters in a much better performance than what we saw last Friday. That game finished at 74-60 points. The final match in that series is scheduled to take place on Friday night inside the Mexico Center. The winner will take on Tough Enough in the finals. And from basketball, we move into some cycling action. Several Belizean cyclists participated in the 6th annual Sedase Cycling Classic in Merida, Mexico. Cycling fans were able to follow the 100-kilometer event courtesy of Guns Cycling Club's live broadcast.
There we go for Team Zoros is right there. There goes Byron Pope. Byron Pope is right there in the main peloton. There we have Byron Pope, folks. Where is Iho? Where is Carlton? Where is Wasani? There goes Arana. There goes Iho right behind Arana. There we have Wasani. There we have Carlton. These guys are in the main peloton. These guys are in the main peloton. The 5 Belizeans are in the main peloton. There are 3 guys up front. 2 Zoros, 97 and 98. Number 97 and 98 up front. Iho Requena from Belize. There goes Iho. Iho is going now. There goes Iho. Iho from Belize. And there goes Popey. Popey is going, folks. Popey and Yo is going. Are these guys going to monk an attack and go for the Zoros? Okay, folks, here we have the B coming. The B is coming in. The B is coming in. Who do we see coming in? There goes the Rocket. The Rocket. The Rocket. The Rocket. There goes Palace. There goes Palace. Palace claim the victory. Palace, the Rockets claim the victory for B. Popey got fourth place. Popey. Byron Pope, sprint. Byron Pope, sprint. And Byron Pope got fourth place.
As you saw there, folks, Byron Pope secured fourth place in the elite category. Fitzgerald Palace Joseph came in first for the Master B category. Congratulations to all our Belizean riders who completed the grueling ride. In volleyball, the ATLIV Volleyball Championship games were held over the weekend in San Pedro and Burgers Key. Energies were high going into the games as the top tertiary level volleyball teams faced off in both the male and female categories. And in the end, the SJC-JC male and female teams took home the first prize trophies. They were crowned the ATLIV Volleyball Champions for 2022. Congratulations to the UB male team for finishing in second place and Muffles College's male team for winning third place. Second place in the female category went to Galen University and third place to Ecumenical College. I would also like to give special mention to Belize's under-21 men's volleyball team for their hard work in the under-21 Central American Men's Volleyball Championship. Belizean Hakim Godoy received an award for Best Blocker. And that's all we have for you in sports. Until next time, thank you for joining us.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.